This is Oscar Mike Radio Special Edition. Hello and welcome to a special edition of Oscar Mike Radio. Oscar Mike Radio is co-produced by Sinister One Productions. What's your podcast doing? I want to thank my sponsors, Joyce Asek of Asek Real Estate, and my supporters, Cason Shaving Company, Exceptional Parent Magazine, and Fight Camp. So if you're watching and you're a really attentive Oscar Mike Radio listener, watcher, you might recognize the face of my guest. He was on earlier this year. Well, actually last year, and now it's this year. And here we are. We are truly Oscar Mike with Matt Oakley talking with me about what's going on. Matt, welcome back to Oscar Mike Radio.
How are you? Happy to be here.
Man, it's great. I mean, last time we talked about, sons and fathers and our relationships and what's going on. And your dad served in the Army, and you wrote him a really cool, poignant song that, now I didn't serve in the Army. I wasn't as cool as your dad, or your dad wasn't as cool as me. Let's be honest here. But how cool was it that a child looked at what their father did and wrote about it? And then I'm sitting there, I'm working today. I got my headphones on. I get this email, look at it, and it's, hey, there's this press release. Matt Oakley did this thing. I'm like, yeah, I remember that. And it was a really cool conversation. But you've got something really cool to talk about. Tell us all the big good news, Matt.
Yeah. So this upcoming weekend, obviously, Donald Trump will be inaugurated. And obviously, each year there's multiple inaugural balls, and we'll be performing at two of them. I'm sure Anna might have sent you over the links, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's a cool moment. I'll be able to sing, like you said, not only Soldier Son, which I performed for a ton of military veterans and active duty and Gold Star families, but also other originals that I've released, and even one that I haven't released yet. So it's going to be it'll be a really cool full circle moment. I actually went to Donald Trump's first inauguration back in 2016 before I ever even picked up a guitar. So to fast forward 8 years and be invited to perform at this event it's so full circle, and it's just a gift from God that I feel blessed about. And the opportunity to go out there and be a part of this is something I'm going to take with me forever.
Well, you are. What are your parents, especially your dad, thinking right now?
He's super stoked. He's obviously, I mean, my mom's a big patriot as well. So they're both super proud, and they just both feel like it's the right thing for me. Like it's very on brand for me to be doing. And they know how much I love this country, and how much I believe in this country and this country's potential. And so the ability to go out there and speak my truth to a bunch of people who feel the same way is really cool. And it's going to be an awesome event.
It has to be. It has to be. I mean, were you just sitting there and, it's the end of the year, new year, and you get the call saying, hey, do you want to come do this? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I got a call from my manager, and he was saying, hey, get ready, gear up. We're doing this. So he kind of just gave it the green light when he came across it, and he got me linked up with some people, and we'll be doing some rehearsals later on this week. And yeah, we're just going for it. I think it's one of those things it's better to be ready and stay ready than have to get ready. And so we're ready to go. We've been doing shows in and out last year, but I sing the songs as loud as I can in my car every day. So if I can't go out there and do it, then I ain't meant for it. But I think I am, and I think I'm ready to go. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm proud of where we're headed this year. And this is a great way to start it.
It's really cool, just because I have nothing to do with this, and we talked about your career and what's going on, and I'm reading the press release. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm like, hey, I talked to that guy.
Uh-huh.
Like you're gonna get seen, Matt. We talked about this. Like, what would it be like to be seen on a national, international
Yeah.
stage? And it doesn't get any bigger than this.
Yeah.
Are you able to sleep, Matt?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's honestly, as much as I just really take it back to it being a blessing. I don't think God would put anything in front of me that I'm not ready for. And I think him putting this in front of me is a sign that I'm ready to take this on and go for it. So I'm excited more than anything. I wouldn't call it nervous. I would just say the ability to be up there and celebrating this moment and giving back in a way that I can is really cool. And I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it, and I feel blessed. And I'm really, more than anything, I'm excited to perform Soldier Song because I know we'll have some retired and active duty military there. So being able to thank them to their face is really cool.
Well, one thing that I picked up from the last time we talked and watching your videos and other things is that, your faith in God is really central to who you are. And I really much respect for you giving God the glory right now. I know that that is something that is your faith, not religion. Your faith is extremely important to you. I really respect that and appreciate you being able to do that and feeling safe doing it on here.
Yeah.
Very important. I want to ask like what's next, but I don't know how you top this. But you know, we talked about what you were going to be doing in 2025. You were getting dialed in, and you're, I guess, to go back a little bit. How do you stay ready to be ready for opportunities like this? It's very curious to me.
Yeah. I mean, I can show you real quick. I mean, this is my in-home studio over here in Nashville, Tennessee. I've got
Look at that.
guitars left and right. I got a vocal booth. So I'm in here every day. I'm either creating or practicing or rehearsing, or it's just something I love. I think I've really just leaned into the fact that this is what I want to do in my life. And I'm not going to look back in 20 years and say, I wish I did something a little bit harder, or I wish I practiced a little bit more, or I wish I was ready for that opportunity. I think it's just comes down to this is what I love doing. And like I said a million times, I'm blessed enough to be able to do it. So I'm not gonna take any of that for granted. I think where I'm at in this moment upcoming is going to be a massive building block for what's to come for the rest of the year. We've got an album coming out in April that I know I had mentioned last time we spoke. It's a 14 song full band, all made over here in Nashville. It's got some of the greatest songs I've heard in modern history. So I'm biased, but I wrote it with some of the best writers in the world. And like I said, this is something I've wanted to come out for a year or two, but it's a matter of timing and it's a matter of when the right move is. And I think now is the right move for that. So we've got these inaugural balls coming up, and then we've got a single coming out this Friday. We have a music video coming out 2 weeks from now. And we got another single in February. Then it's the whole album, and then it's just shows on shows on shows. So this is the year. It feels like it's going to be the year. And first and foremost, I know I've said it, and I don't want to beat a horse to death, but I think this is all a testament to just trusting his plan for me and allowing him to work in my life the way that he deems fit. So I'm blessed, and I recognize that, and I can't wait for the next few months to take place because it's going to be really big.
Well, I think the other lesson here, because we talked about this, I'm not a performer in that regard. I don't really do that, but as a veteran, you have to take so many chances when you transition out, or even to go in the military, do the job there, and then get out. And you have to understand where you fit in and how you do it. And the same applies for any musician trying to do this, right? You're trying to figure out what your craft is, how you do it. We've talked about that. But then when you find where you think you're supposed to be and are able to be in that
Yeah.
groove, it must be like, okay, I'm here. This is where I'm supposed to
Yeah.
be. And you can just focus on what you got to do. Am I getting that right?
Yeah. I refer to that as feeling like you're in kind of this flow state. You just feel like you're in the right spot and you're doing the right thing. And I think for the longest time throughout I mean, I got into music late in, as far as compared to other artists. I think they've been playing guitar or an instrument or singing since they were at a young age. This is something I picked up about 5 years ago, 4 years ago. And I've just continued to, it's just always felt like something that fulfilled me. And I think the older I get, the more I realize that everyone's just looking for something to get out of this life that when it's all said and done, they can look back and say, man, I'm so glad I did that. And this is something that I already feel so glad that I'm doing. And it just feels like me now. It feels like a part of me and a part of my story and a part of my life. So yeah, you're nailing the head. I think it's a flow state. I think I just feel like I'm in the right spot. And I think this is a testament to that.
So just to go back a little bit and talk about Soldier's Son, which is how we got connected initially
Yeah.
through, your team and Anna and Core PR. I listened to the song when it came out, and I'm like, wow, man. I mean, Matt, you don't really ever hear a whole lot about sons doing songs about their dads. In
Yeah.
fact, the only country song I remember, I forget, was it Reba or Dolly Parton who did the one called Daddy's Hands? Forgive me, I can't remember who actually did it. That's the only one I remember. And this is across rock, other country artists, but that's the only one. And
Yeah.
then yours comes out, and it's about your dad's service. And I'm like, I got out before my sons were born, but I've known so many dads whose, kids watched them leave and get on that plane. And it was like, you know what? You kind of captured all their feelings in that song, man. It really, as a veteran, it really resonated with me. I just wanted you to know that.
Well, I really appreciate that. Hearing the stories from former veterans, or the biggest one has been the Gold Star families. I've met with multiple of these mothers and fathers who have lost their kid in combat, and they just sit there and they tell me how much it means to them. And for me to sit there and hear that, it just once again it fulfills you in a way that I don't think anything else really could. It's like I created something not only for someone I love and experiences I went through, but this stranger I didn't know a few months ago, who's been through something so traumatic, was able to find some peace through this piece of art that I created. And it's such a hard thing to come to terms with in your own head. Like for me to sit there and say, wow, that provided somebody with something. I just feel lucky, and I feel like it's something I want to do my whole life. And whether it's a song about my father being a veteran, or whether it's a breakup song, or whether it's a song about falling in love, or it's a song about getting through hard parts or working hard, like whatever it might be, I want my music to be able to invoke an emotion in the listener. And so far it's been able to do that, and I feel real blessed with that.
So, dumb question here, maybe, maybe not. Are the balls being televised? I don't remember balls being necessarily televised.
I'm not sure. I don't know as far as like the streaming aspect. I know they're live streamed, and they're probably going to be streamed on certain networks. I don't think it'll be like a national televised thing, but I think it'll be like you might be able to go on certain websites and it'd be live. I know it's going to be live stream. I just don't know where.
Okay. Well, look, folks, if it's live streamed, I'll have it in the Oscar Mike Radio feed. You'll be able to see that. I'm going to have the link to Matt's song, Soldier's Son, in this show post. Matt, look, you've got a lot going on. I know this, and I really, really appreciate you being flexible, take the time to talk with me. This just made my day. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, I talked to that dude, and here we are talking now, and it just I think a lot of your message about being authentic, being true to your purpose, and then trusting the right people and God to get you where you need to go. Here we go. It works.
Yeah.
And so, much respect, congratulations, and thank you so much.
No, thank you. More than anything, I appreciate conversations like this and just being able to be real with you. So I appreciate the time, and this event should be great, and we'll be on to bigger, better things. It's hard to say that, but that's the goal, right?
Well, I tell you what, with your album drops, let's see if we can have you back on for a special
Yeah.
when your album drops. I'd really appreciate that. But all the best to you, and thank you again. Look, folks, Matt Oakley, Nashville performing artist, Soldier's Son, link in the Oscar Mike Radio show post. Now performing for very, very big audience, to say the least. Thank you very much.